Welcome back, Leo Lions. This is Mrs. Morkin with your lesson over two-step equations. So we have done one step, and over here in the top left box, we do have some review. So quick reminder, remember that your equal sign is the middle of your scale. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. Find your variable, and our goal is to get that variable by itself. So we want to get rid of -8 or -8, same thing. So to do that, we do the opposite and add 8 to both sides. So 16 plus 8, n equals 24. Okay, same thing here. We want to get m by itself. Right now, when they're squeezed up next to each other, that means multiply. So the opposite would be divide. 36 divided by 2, m equals 18. Okay. Number 3, we want to get x by itself, and so to get rid of the plus 5, that's on the side with a variable, we'll do the opposite, and -5, so x equals 15. And then last one, remember the divide, or that fraction bar means divide, so the opposite, we're going to multiply by 5, and that's how we get the 5s to cancel out. Do the same thing to the other side, so m equals 30. Okay, don't forget every single equation you can check your work. I know it takes time, but you will always know if you're right or wrong. So 24 minus 8 does equal 16. We know this first answer is right. 2 times m, 2 times 18, and I am wrong because 8, 16, no, I'm not. Just kidding. I was thinking 38, but 2 times 18, if I stack these and do 18 times 2, then never mind, I was correct. So m equals 18. Next on x plus 5, so if x is 15, 15 plus 5 does equal 20. We are correct. And last one, 30 divided by 5 does equal 6. So don't forget to take that extra little time to make sure your answers are correct. Okay, now we have a two-step equation. So look at the original equation here. 3y plus 12 equals 21. If you like using that line or where your equal sign is, so whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So that's why there are boxes on both sides to help guide through this problem. So the first step here, number 1, is to always undo the addition or subtraction first. So find your plus whatever, your minus whatever. In this case, here's our y. So that's what we want left by itself on that side. Okay, we need to get rid of the 3, and we need to get rid of the 12. So our first step is always that constant, the number that is furthest away from the variable. So the opposite of plus 12, we are going to subtract 12 to get rid of it. And if we do it to one side, we also have to do it to the other. So 12 minus 12, the 12 is now gone. All we have left, we're going to simplify that side. So we have 3y left. 21 minus 12 equals 9, okay? That equation is the exact same as what we started with. We just got rid of the 12 and did it on the other side. Step 2 is to undo the multiplication or division. So the variable has a 3 next to it. That means 3 times y. So to undo it, we're going to divide by 3. We do it to one side. We got to do it to the other. So 3 divided by 3, that is how we get 1y, or remember, 1y is the same thing as y. And then 9 divided by 3, y equals 3. Okay? Step 3, always check your solution. So if y equals 3, we go back to the original equation we were given. So 3 times y plus 12. So 3 times 3, we're going to substitute in for y. And we got to follow order of operations when we check. So multiply has to come first. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 12, and that does equal 21. We know this solution is correct. Okay, let's do another one. It doesn't have the steps written, but our process is still the same. Personally, I've taught before that always find where the variable is. That's going to be your first step. So the number directly next to the variable. That's what we call the best buddy. These guys are best buddies because they are right next to each other. Okay, this one down here, it's kind of an acquaintance. They're on the same side of the equal sign, so they kind of get along, but they're not as close as this 15 and the m, the number and the variable. These guys, the best buddies. So if we're on a ship and the ship's sinking, who are we going to save first? Well, most likely you're going to save your best buddy first. So we want to get rid of the minus 14, or the number that is further away from the variable first. Okay, so we want to get rid of the negative or minus 14. The opposite of that would be plus 14. Notice I did write plus in front of it. It's the opposite. So negative 14 plus 14, that is now gone. Now it is just the best buddy and you. And then 16 plus 14 equals 30. Okay, now if you're thinking, I guess it's your preference, but you want to save yourself first, or yeah, you want to save yourself first. So the variable is what we want left on that ship. We want to get rid of the best buddy now. So 15 times m, the opposite, remember, this means divide by 15. And 15 divided by 15 is how we get m. We have to do it to the other side. So 30 divided by 15 is not 3, it is 2. Okay, again, let's check our solution. So go back to the original equation, 15 times 2, and then minus 14. Follow order of operations. So 15 times 2 is 30. 30 minus, oh, sorry, I wrote down the problem wrong. That should be minus 14. So 30 minus 14, it does equal 16, which was our original equation. We know we're correct. Okay, next one we have our fraction bar. Don't let that fraction bar confuse you. All right, same process, and we can still think of it. Here is u, here is the best buddy on the bottom, the 3. These guys are right next to each other. They're super close. Okay, and then the plus 3 over here, that's the acquaintance. All right, not as close to these best buddies. So who are we going to save first? We're going to save that best buddy, so we're going to keep it. And we want to get rid of the plus 3 and subtract 3 from both sides. Okay, 3 minus 3, those are now gone. Now we have k over 3 left on the left side. 18 minus 3 is 15. Okay, now don't forget the divide, or the fraction bar means divide. So we want to get k by itself. So the opposite would be multiply by 3. And do the same thing to the other side. So those 3's will cancel out and we get k, and then 15 times 3 equals 15. So let's check our work. The original equation, so k is 15 over 3 plus 3. So 15 divided by 3, divide has to come first, so that's 5. And then 5 plus 3. Ooh. We made an error, didn't we? I am wrong. And there is a prime perfect example of why we always check our work. And so I messed up over here. 15 times 3 does not equal 15. 15 times 3 equals 45. And maybe some of you caught that before I even realized it. So now let's go check our work and replace that k, the top variable, with 45. So 45 divided by 3 is 15. And there we go. So good thing I took the time to check my work. K equals 45. All right, and I promise I didn't do that intentionally. All right, the next two, we don't have those boxes to guide us. So the process is still the same. Find where the variable is. We want to get that by itself. Okay, there's two numbers we need to get rid of. The one that is further away from the variable, the one that's not right next to it, is what we want to get rid of first. So do the opposite operation and do it to both sides. 6 minus 6, that is now gone. Now let's rewrite everything. So all we have left is 4x on the left side. 22 minus 6 is 16. And then we want to get rid of that 4. So 4 times x, the opposite would be divide. Divide the right side as well. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And then 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay? Again, we're going to take that time, go back to the original equation. 4 times x is 4, what we solved for, plus 6. And let's see if it goes back to 22. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 6 does equal 22. So we know we're correct. Okay? And one more. K over 10 plus 7 equals 15. So K is on the left side. We have two numbers to get rid of. The one that's further away, we want to get rid of first. So this plus 7. The opposite of that is minus 7. Do it to both sides. Okay, simplify what we have left. So K over 10 equals 8. 15 minus 7. And then K over 10, to get rid of the divide by 10, we want to multiply both sides by 10. So we get rid of that 10, and all we have left is K. 8 times 10 is 80. So check our work back to the original equation. So 80 over 10 plus 7. So 80 divided by 10 is 8. 8 plus 7 does equal 15, what we started with. So we know we are correct. Okay? No matter whether the variable is on the left or the right side, you always want to get the variable on one side by itself. It doesn't matter which side it ends up being on.